Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reality Is Where Words Do Come to Life. Look, I had to make this video because it's so much conversation going on in reference to the color purple. It is so much blame going on that Taraji P. Henson was the cause of non-attendance of the color purple. Now, I understand the disparities in pay for black actresses, but they want to blame Taraji for that. That was a build up from when Gail asked her the question that she was threatening to quit acting. Viola Davis had said it. It wasn't nothing new, so I don't understand why everybody in such shock to think that it was something new when it was not new. But the caveat was that they had to drive themselves. They had to share a trailer, and they didn't have no food. Now, everybody wanted to make it seem like that Oprah was solely responsible. Yes, she takes some ownership, but Warner Brothers do too. And it goes back to what I said. The flag that we call the United States with the stars and stripes in the 50 states, we need to take all the colors off and leave the flag white. It's evident. We see it in our prison system. We see it in entertainment business. We see it in music. We see it in modeling. We see it everywhere, right? Now it's more prominent. Now we're seeing the discrimination that we've been dealing with for years. It has been hidden so long, and now the pot is boiling over, point blank, and the period. So here is the thing. Oprah wants to deny that, she did what she could. But when you're negotiating, when you're going into anything, everything is laid out on the table before you even start production of a movie. And while you're picking your cash, you're getting your budget, all these stuffs are prelude to what's going to happen after the fact, right? So Meryl Streep, any Sally Field, who else is a white actress? I see her who played in Pretty Woman. None of them has come forth and said they experienced a thing that black actors and actresses experience. Ain't that amazing? So they get their treatment up front. It's so obvious. So there is no excuse that nobody should have to call Oprah and ask her about food. Nobody should have to call Oprah and tell her about rental cars. Nobody had to call her about a trailer that Taraji, Danielle, and Fantasia had to share. That's ridiculous, because not one movie have you heard, not one actress or actor had to share a trailer when they did a movie. They had their own movie, and it wasn't no raggedy trailer. Neither did they drive themselves. So why is it so hard for us to understand that Oprah has to take accountability to her part and not making sure that black actors and actresses are covered? And then they went on to say how she sabotages and make black men look bad on her talk shows. Well, we saw all that. See, we look at things what we want to see, but then we don't want to see what we need to see at the time that we need to see it, right? So let me give y'all a little insight. Color Purple did not flop because of Taraji P. Henson. And y'all should not blackball her for that. God is pulling the curtains, the shades, and open the windows and doors on y'all nonsense, and he's tired. Y'all sit up here and using God to y'all advantage, and he's tired. And when he pulled the covers by any means necessary, however he needs to pull the covers will be pulled. So walk in. You make your money. You don't want nobody shortchanging your check. You're in this thing to make money. So why would you not want somebody to have the kind of lifestyle that you have? That is so selfish, and that's so wrong on so many levels. But again, I'm going to reiterate, The Color Purple did not flop because of Taraji P. Henson. It flopped because it was a horrible movie. It was a musical. It did not reflect the original. You should have left the musical on Broadway and been done with it. If you was not going to remake the movie, the musical, I don't care how many popular actresses you had. You had Taraji, you had Fantasia, you had Danielle Williams, you had Tamela Mann, you had Ciara, you had her. It did not matter. did not like it at all. The prettiness of the purple in the movie when they got the car and all the purple went across the sky was amazing. There was really no reflection of purple in there. It wasn't. I'm tired of seeing us, you need to be my maid. I'm tired of that. I don't want to see that. We go through that in our everyday life. We're still going through it. We got people incarcerated because of the color of their skin. We got people who has time in prison because the color of their skin. White people commit the same crime. They get slapped on the wrist. A black person commit the crime. They get throw the book at them. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of seeing us being misused and abused, wrapped around like mammies, like we can't have a good quality of life. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the abuse. Nobody wanted to see it. I only went to see it because my sister bought a ticket for my great niece and she couldn't go. So I ended up going. But I was so disappointed. I was not a fan of the color purple. So I'm going to clarify again. Taraji P. Henson is not the blame for the color purple flopping. Let's call it what it is. It was done. We've overdone the color purple. How many times you gonna keep doing it? You overkill. It's overkill. You had no Broadway. You had the movie. And I keep telling y'all, certain things you can remake and certain things you cannot remake. You can't. You can't remake it. It did not have the oomph that it needed to have. Even though the cast was a great cast, it didn't have what it needed to have. It did not possess the pull that it needed to pull. Bottom line, was not impressed. It's a whole musical. Not impressed. So Taraji P. Henson cannot be blamed for that. Y'all need to blame y'allself. Y'all should have left that thing where it was on Broadway. You should have closed it and moved on to something else. But y'all thought y'all would blow air into it, give it life, give it oxygen. It's dead, it's died, it done done. Y'all done overcooked it. So let it go. Let it go. And we can talk about all this stuff we want to. People, let me tell you, our people, take ownership to your part. Stop lying. Stop pretending that you're not. And the only reason you start to blackball people because people are telling the truth. Because if they was not telling the truth about what they're saying, there would be no need to blackball. That's it. But when you blackball, I keep telling people the truth don't need a crutch. It don't need a chair. Don't need a walker. Don't need a ladder. Don't need a couch. Don't need nothing to lean on. But them lies, when you try to cover up and you don't want your reputation tarnished or stained, guess what? You have to work hard to silence people. And that's what blackballing is, to silence people from the truth. But guess what? You can't silence God. I don't care what y'all do, how y'all figure y'all gonna do it. God cannot be quiet. He cannot be silenced. And you sitting over there on riches and you taking food out of people's mouth and money out their households. But you don't want nobody taking money out your household. None whatsoever. If you want to blame anybody for Taraji P. Henson breakdown, then blame your best friend Gail for poking the bear. Because if she hadn't been poking and asking Taraji, I heard you want to quit acting, she would have never broke down and the words would have never flipped from her lips. But your best friend Gail poked the bear. So let's put the blame where the blame lies. Let's do that. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about that. And let's also talk about that everybody is confirming that you have railroaded a lot of people. I saw Ludacris. I saw Chappelle. I saw Monique talk about how you manipulate. I saw the thing about Michael Jackson, how you manipulated and made it something else. So y'all want to ride and make your riches on the coattails of others. You know what that remind me of? The slave days. The dark Negroes in the field and the light-skinned Negroes in the house think they better than somebody else. And you going to rise and get an easy life by any means cost. Our mentality and how we think about things is still the same for some of us. We ain't changed. We're still demeaning. We're still cutting up. We're still doing things to each other that we should not be doing. If you got the power in the pool to pull up another black actor or actress, that is your purpose and your goal. But we see that you're a little selfish and you don't care about nobody else. So when that girl did that TikTok and she broke it down, you bouncing through there, you looked at Taraji and you backed away, you told on yourself. You told on yourself. They should not have to tell you, I'm sorry, Miss O, but we didn't have no food. Nobody should have to tell you that. You knew that. You knew that. If you was on the ground, I'm sure you had a nice trailer. I'm sure you had somebody to drive you. So why would you think nobody else deserved to be driven? Help it make sense to me. So a lot of this conversation we having should not even be this extensive a conversation. Let the chips fall where they may and call a thing as it is, that thing. You in for the money, but there comes consequence. And Warner Brothers is just as much to blame, because y'all knew what y'all was doing was wrong. And nobody want to check y'all for that. Y'all should have been checked. So if y'all can get Oprah Heat, give Warner Brothers too. Don't leave nobody out. Now, if you want to hurt somebody, stop going to the movies and patronizing their stuff. Stop doing that. That's what we need to do. Stop doing it. Let's be honest. Let's be truthful. God is tired of our foolishness and our mess. Color Purple was horrible. I was not impressed. Not at all. The same old, same old. You heightened certain things that shouldn't have been heightened. There was no ounce of purple. Abuse. I'm tired of seeing abuse. We deal with that every day, and this country still does not acknowledge it like they should. So when are we going to get better? Black people do more things than be beat up and thrown into jail and want to be mammies and pappies. And yes, sir, and no, sir. No, we passed that stage. Enough is enough. It's overkill now. Let it go. So that's my take on it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.